e a Lelé são duas garotas do desacato. A Lala e a Lelé provocam até cenas de fuzilado. A Lala e a Lelé são duas garotas do desacato. A Lala e a Lelé provocam até cenas de fuzilado. Se alguém quer vir pro samba, olha a roda com a fé. Se quer loura tem Lala, se quer morena tem Lelé. E depois faço uma ideia, o que é que o samba dá? Com a loucura da Lelé e com a doidice da Lala. E a Lala e a Lelé são duas garotas do desacato. A Lala e a Lelé provocam até cenas de fuzilado. A Lala e a Lelé são duas garotas do desacato. A Lala e a Lelé provocam até cenas de fuzilado. A Lelé, que coisa louca, é bom.
Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to Sixtea, 60 minutes, a cup of tea, a friend and a cup of tea. We're talking about people who create the world. Today, we're talking about the musical journey with Leroy Mattis Mabrak. Mabrak is in the house. Thank you for being here. Hello, welcome.
Yes, welcome. And it's, thank you for bringing me on, inviting me here. All praise is due to the Almighty God. And thanks again, to share the richness of Africa with the world, of course.
Yes, blessed. Thank you. And I want to say, let me give a little introduction of Mabrak here. He's a national drum and reggae drum champion of Jamaica since 1974. So friends, we have a wise elder in the house right now, okay? He's an international master of the reggae repeater and the talking drum. He won 4 medals for Jamaica in the World Music Championship in 2003 in Burbank, the first Jamaican musician to be invited and perform in the John F. Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. I'm just telling you a little bit. There's so much more about him, and I will link while we're talking in this video, I'll link different places that you can see him. And I also want to show you all right now, talking drum. When we're talking about the talking drum, we're talking about something that looks a little bit like this. Mabrak, I'm showing them my talking drum from Benin, and what he plays looks very similar to this. You'll see it's bound right through the middle here, and then there's goat skin on either side. So that, and there's a like a mallet we use to play them. And so he was using a drum that's very much like this. You can use your hands too, but you can also use the mallet to play. That is the what we're talking about. We're talking about the talking drum, something very similar to that. So, my friend, Mabrak, hello.
Nice introduction. Nice introduction about the talking drum, the hourglass drum, the mystical drum.
The talking drum. And I have to say, Mabrak, I was just listening to some of your music online, and I have never heard the talking drum with reggae music ever.
Well, I thought it was time to give Africa its due. When I arrived at Howard, and I realized that they went up to the highest level of drum music, which is the talking drum. So I decided, well, here is my chance. I'm at Harry J Studios. It was the 3 M's that were at Harry J Studio at the time. Bob Marley, Ras Midas, and of course Mabrak, the 3 M's. Marley, Midas, and Mabrak. Wow. And so before going over to Harry, I decided that I wanted to do a 40.
Yeah.
And drum talk was first thing is that King Toby's wanted to know if I was going to be using this song as part of my ongoing research for drum music, or if I was going to, put it on the street so the sound systems could play it. So
okay,
I said,
wait.
yeah, I'm gonna put it out.
When you say, because some people don't know about this, I learned about this. When you say put it on the streets so the sound systems could play, tell us a little bit about that system.
Well, it's a release. You gotta release it on a label, you know. So I had to form real quick the lightning and thunder label. You know, it has to come out on a label. But first, King Tubby's, he wanted a dub plate so he could kill some sound systems. Because he had a new sound, a strange sound, and he was like, wow, this drum, gosh, this was the first time he was hearing these sounds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was well received by King Tubby's. He had no fault with that. He wanted a dub plate right away.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. So, Mabrak, let me ask you a couple questions that our listeners definitely want to hear about you. In this year, 2020, this crazy year, or maybe super sane year, it depends on how you look at it. Is there something pretty significant that you learned about yourself?
Yes, what I've learned about myself, it takes me back to the 70s when you just have to stay with the 3 C's: cool, calm, and collective. When all around you is going crazy, you just have to just back up and just stay calm. Just stay calm. Because so much madness is going on around you. If you step outside of your circle, you're gonna get caught up with it. So people just have to just learn to just stay cool and calm with all, the madness that is going on around you. Just stay calm. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Probably several deep breaths, and exhale slowly. You just have to stay calm. You have to stay calm.
I really appreciate you saying that, because I find myself, I find myself sort of wanting to fix the world, like help create this world to be something that, build the new world in the best way. And when I do that, I tend to try to go really fast and be involved in everything. And because that causes me not to stay calm or collected. And as a result, I run into a lot of people who maybe don't wish the best for me, or maybe aren't in a good way, so I really appreciate that, staying calm, cool, and collected.
Yes, you have to. It's a method of survival, and just take it one day at a time. Take one step at a time.
Yes.
It is a survival technique.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for answering that. One other thing before we get back to the music. If you could be sipping tea or your favorite libation with anybody, who would it be and why?
All right. By libation, you mean what?
Well, any of your favorite libation. I'm drinking tea, but I wonder, for you, whatever you could drink, who would it be if you could sit down and have a drink with somebody? Who would it be? Dead or alive?
Well, I would say with my grandmother right now, with what's happening, because her take on life, my grandmother, her take on life was that, okay, there's a problem, let's find a solution. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's a problem, because she looked at life as that intelligence basically is the ability to find the right solution to a given problem or a bad situation. Just how are you going to deal with this thing now? Don't get flustered. Of course it's going to rock you. It might rock your world too.
Yes.
But just back up and just figure out what you're gonna do to solve this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's why I thank her for what she instilled in me as a youth. From I was quite young. That's how she looked at things. Something came up that was rough and weird. She wouldn't panic. Of course, she would be frightened like any other human being. Yes, but she's gonna come up with a solution to deal with it. That's it.
Wow,
and that has taken me right through the years,
So she was a rock for you.
Oh yes, she was the first lioness
that
I had encountered with. Yeah.
Mabrak, if you were an animal, which would it be?
I think I would be a lion.
A lion! Do you know we have a lot of lions come to Sixtea?
Yes.
Yes. Why a lion? Because you were raised by a lion?
That is one, and two is that the lion is king of the jungle because he's smart. He knows how to really get things done.
Yes.
It's kind of, I don't really want to say how he makes gets his meal, but it's very tricky. It's very strategic.
Yes.
It's very strategic.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. So let's talk about this talking drum, because this is a drum that I was in West Africa last year and I saw it everywhere, and I was shocked at how I don't really see it or hear it in music that we listen to, and I definitely don't hear it in reggae music. So how did you start playing the talking drum?
That was about 1970, and the thing is that I was introduced to it by my prof because I was a lead drummer, and they played the highest level of drum music for the drum and dance group at Howard, which is Contact Africa,
Uh-huh.
So he introduced me to the talking drum, and he thought that I'd played it before, but no, I had just seen it in movies, and seeing how it was played, which was a big jump for me, because that's like 90%. If I see how you play it, then all right, when I get it,
wow.
I'm familiar with it now, but if I had never seen it before, then that would be a real problem. So he showed me the basics in talking drum, and I just took it from there.
Interesting. So you just have a natural sort of, like, you kind of just interact with the energy and the visuals of it, and it starts working for you?
Oh yeah, just the sound that gets me. Because remember now, I grew up with the Scatterlights, with Tamamako and Roland Alfonso, you name it. One of the baddest aggregation in the Western Hemisphere. And of course, Count Ozzy is drums, that was going on up there in Warwicker Hills. I knew that they had something deep there, something African. They really try to maintain that identity.
Yes.
So
like African, they're trying to maintain African identity?
They wanted the link. They wanted to keep that link going. With
like
what they call the heartbeat sound.
Like through into the Jamaican, into the reggae music?
Oh yes. It was their big hit was "Oh Carolina," which really stunned people because here's it's drum sound. "Oh Carolina, Chua, Pop, Chua," and it was
"Oh Carolina, Jambalaya."
Yes, and it's on Jamaica's Golden Hits, in which we were called to make a version of it,
Okay.
So we are on the Jamaica Golden Hits album, Volume 1, doing "Oh Carolina" over again,
Wow. So when you were younger, you got introduced to the talking drum, and then did you have struggles in bringing the talking drum into reggae music?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't troublesome. The only thing was that poor Harry J. He didn't know how to market the album. He
didn't
didn't
know
know
how
how
to
to
market the
market the thing.
album. He didn't know how to market the album, you said?
Yes, he didn't know how to market because this is like something that's brand new in the music scene, the music business. But here's this drum making these weird sounds, strange sounds. It's good, but pe- pe- people were just like the thing about this thing is that it came in the nick of time, though. It's funny how life is. Here is it: the Prime Minister Summit Conference was going to be held in Kingston.
What year? What
they
year?
needed a theme song. They needed a theme song.
What year was this, Mabrak? What year was this?
This was about 1975, 76.
Wow.
Yeah. And they needed a theme song. And they were going around different studios with the different artists, asking them to make a song about Africa or something, and they needed a theme song. Well, they got a lot of dubbing with repeaters and drums and all of that stuff. And here's it. One day, I was just pointing out some things to Tommy McCook. I was over by his house, and he heard this because he's trying to figure out what kind of song he could make and include the talking drum in the song. And in comes Barbara Makeda Blake Hannah. She has been involved in the Jamaican cultural scene for years. And she heard drum talk from King Tubby's, It was on the turntable. And she just said, "What? Where did you get this?" And Tommy said, "Yeah, you I make the song." Okay, she just took it out. And away she went straight to the Prime Minister's office. And I think she said to Beverly Manley at the time, "Listen to this, your troubles are over." Yes, and she heard it. I think they played it for the Prime Minister too. And he realized his troubles were really over. Because every African delegate who came to the conference could relate to the song or know about the talking drum. So that was it. And it just took off.
Wow. What? Now what?
It was shocking. It was shocking because the remark was, how come nobody told them that Jamaica was at this level of drum music? How come? So what
was the name of that song?
The name of that song was Drum Talk, just plain Drum Talk.
Oh, it was just plain Drum Talk. Okay, so you're telling me, I just want to review this for everybody, that the Prime Minister of England, right?
No, Jamaica. Michael Manley.
Okay, so the Prime Minister of Jamaica was going to have a big event, and he invited a whole bunch of delegates from Africa.
Oh yeah.
And they couldn't figure out a song that would be right for everything. And knowing the little I do about Jamaica, the music matters, right?
Well, oh yes.
Okay, so the music really matters, and they didn't know what they were gonna do. And so then you came in with your talking drum, also being sort of in this position of like the music's good, but people are still trying to understand like, what is this? Because it's new for Jamaica. You came in and you were like, let's do this song that unites Africa, the sound of Africa and the sound of Africa's diaspora, which is Jamaican music, which is reggae, which is also Afro. And you put it together, and that became this song, this brand new explosion of this sound.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Oh yes. That was something else. You see, because with Drum Talk, it's it's inclusive. Everyone could relate to the song. Do 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 do. Tap 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 tap. Like, wow! Did you know we were coming and you made this so special? No, this was just between me and King Tubby's.
Wow.
Yes, and of course I brought it by the name of Jim Sherman. We call him Shia. You know, it was it used it for his song "Love Forever." Love is forever. You know what I mean? It's just like the song do 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 do. And the talking drums start taking off now, and everybody's rocking. You know.
Mabrak, did you? So when you were younger, because you played drums from a really young age, right?
Oh yes, the butter pan and the cheese pan. That's what I had to start with because I had to start with those because my mother wouldn't buy me a drum.
Okay, now before you go on, I just want to be really clear that when Mabrak says butter pan and cheese pan, he's literally talking about pans.
Oh yes, these are tins that you put cheese in it. That the grocers they buy it in these tins, you know. And they shake out the cheese and leave the pan, you know, whether it's cheese or butter, you know.
So
these are just containers.
So where did you grow up, and what was it like where what was your childhood like where during this time when you were discovering as a very small child that you were a drummer?
Well, my grandmother, you know, had died. I missed her a great deal. And I had a good friend who said, why don't you start playing something? I said, what about a butter pan? We got 2 butter pans. And we went inside the old kitchen. Because like I said, my mother didn't want any drum music. Because people who play drums would be harassed by, you know, the colonial people. At the time, Jamaica was still under colonial powers.
You could get arrested for drumming?
Or you'd be in really serious trouble if you know, whether it's the police or it could be just government guys passing around and hear drumming coming from your house. You know, because only Rastas play drums. And the Rastas at the time were located in a section of Western Kingston called Bakawal. You see what I'm saying? And in another section in downtown Kingston, Buddy and Ricketts, you know, South Side. And that's where Rastas would gather sometimes on the weekend and just chant with a heartbeat song and chant on Babylon and the Babylon system. See? And police would read sometimes because they didn't want this drum music. They were sent out, you know, by the powers that be to stop this cultural thing with this drum. You know, this drum thing coming out, you know.
So you were living in an area where the colonial rule. So this is in the 50s. Right?
This was all over Kingston, you know, all over Kingston, all over Kingston, downtown Kingston and uptown Kingston.
So they were trying to stop the music. They were trying to stop the music, stop the cultural practices that were against the colony.
They didn't want any drum business. No. Especially the Rasta drum beat, which is like a heartbeat song, you know.
Yeah.
Because see, the Nyabingi song, someone there was a fighter who came up. It was a female again who came up with the Nyabingi song. It's a 1-2 song. It's like a mantra, and this was in resilience to the war that was going on. And so the Rastas heard about it, and they decided to play it in Jamaica. See?
What was her name?
The powers that be were aware that this is like a cultural thing going on here, and they have to stop it. You know what I mean? Or curtail it. Can't have this Naya Bingy. What is this thing? You know?
Yeah. What was her name that came up with this mantra beat?
There is a sister. When I read the name of the sister, finally, I was so grateful. I don't remember her name right now.
Okay.
But there was somebody will call you and tell you the name of the female warrior.
So during this time, it seemed like there was this power that was coming up. People were saying no. And this is obviously we know of Bob Marley, who was starting to sing right after this time, was starting to sing about this stuff. You were involved in that movement as well. And the 3Ms. And so during this time, you were sitting on the floor of your grandmother's house and your mother's house, banging on listening to these beats, copying these beats, making up your own beats on pans.
As a matter of fact, what happened after that? No, something miraculous happened. In that my grandmother passing away.
Oh.
It's like I was preparing myself for something that I wasn't even aware of. One of my teachers was a radio script writer. She's the late, great Enid Chevans. And they had started a play, Jamaica Information Service, called Life in Hopeful Village. Now, she needed, a little boy inside here to kind of lively up the story. Because what this thing was about by the Jamaica Information Service was to inform farmers about their crops, fertilizers, when it's planting time, when reaping time going to be coming up. And they put this thing in a story called Life in the Village. So she just wanted me, having seen me perform, to play when the village would have a concert, which were many concerts. They were always having fun on the weekends. And also, she wanted me to interact with my, believe it or not, grandmother in the story,
wow.
Which was Miss Birdie. So it was, my name in the story was Baldwin. So it was Baldwin and Miss Birdie.
Oh.
So years ago, I became a radio actor right there as a junior radio actor, for the Jamaica Information Service. And we played drums whenever the Hopeful Village, whenever the village had their little get-together, which were on the weekends. This was broadcasted on Fridays and Saturday nights. I think it was Friday nights on RJR and Saturday nights on JBC Radio. Yeah. And so, usually I'm now a radio actor and a drummer.
Wait.
Live and direct. Yeah.
Wait, now, when did you get your first drum? Because this is between playing on the metal tins in the house, and then your dear grandmother died. When were you able to get your first drum before you started playing on this radio station?
Are you ready for this one? I hope you're sitting down. Ready?
Yes.
Didn't get one.
What?
So, didn't get one. I took my my cheese pan to the store.
No, you were playing your cheese pan on the radio station?
The security man is looking at me from head to toe. And I'm looking at him like, you gonna let me know, right? Because he don't want to get fired if he doesn't let me in with my cheese pan. So, and then I hope you're ready for the next one now.
Okay.
I think some minister called the producer. I think it was Elaine Perkins at the time. She was a fantastic scriptwriter. And so what about the drum for this youngster that is coming in? So she said, no, he doesn't need he doesn't need one because my teaspoon was tuned, pressed in the middle, so you wouldn't get a ringing sound from it.
Yeah.
You know, and it sounded nice. And as far as the minister is concerned, look, man, look, what kind of fool are you taking me? I heard the youngster playing a drum, and she's going,
no,
that is butterfly.
It's a cheese man.
So the government, program as a butter pan plane. Now, it kind of looked bad. It's like, you mean the government cannot afford to buy the youngster a drum? They have him drumming on a cheese pan or a butter pan. And sometimes I decided to step it up. I would get a waste paper container. The ladies would clean up, the janitorial people would crack up because I would tell them, look, this week I want a red one, okay? And they would crack up, go wash it out, clean it up, wipe it off, make
so
music on the radio.
You're telling
and
me
the minister was like, he was dumbfounded. He just said, all right, whatever works, works.
So you're telling me that your drumming career started with you playing a cheese pan, a butter pan, and a trash can on the radio.
On the radio.
And nobody knew the difference. Who was listening?
We didn't tell them. And it sounded nice. She was a trip. She would say, you sound fantastic. Again. That's all she would say to me, because it sounded good on radio.
Yes.
And especially the plastic one, because I'm getting some sounds out of the bottom part of the trash can that was just nice. Nice.
Oh my gosh.
And they loved it. So the government didn't, put it this way. Ready for this one? The government didn't have to buy me a drum.
The government bought you a drum, you just said?
No, did not.
Oh, they knew and they decided not to do anything.
We took care of that.
Wow. So what was your first drum and how did you end up getting it?
Well, there was a good drum maker by the name of Eric Man out by Ferry, out by the ferry, it's nearby going to Spanish Town. And he was a good drum builder,
What was his name? What was his name again?
From him, I bought a drum from him. This was my first drum, and this was about 1970. Yeah. Nice drum, nice repeater.
What type of drum was it?
It was a repeater drum, was a Rasta drum.
A Rasta. Okay, so you didn't have the talking drum yet. This was like a classic drum from in Jamaica.
This is a Nyabinga drum, playing repeater.
Okay.
And this was a really good drum, really good.
That's so this is how many years after the radio thing?
Oh, this is like 1970. Let me see now. This is like about 1970. It's about that time. Well, all along, I just switched to the plastic containers on the radio.
Wow.
It had tones on it that I really like, and the public liked it too.
Uh-huh.
He liked it too. So we just kept it same way.
Now, did people sort of know you and your music? Did people sort of know you and your music from the radio station, or was it later?
You ready for this one? I was bribed. A lot of people, going to school a couple times, I had to just get off the bus because I'm talking to one of my schoolmates going to school in the morning, and a lady, oh my God, I know that voice. I know that voice. I go, I look around, this lady is about to tell the whole bus that this is Baldwin from the radio. So I had to just get off at the next stop. And sometimes I had to just drop a money real quick to some of my greedy friends not to say anything because I just can't talk on the radio.
So people started noticing
cannot talk
you.
on the bus for, excuse me, just cannot talk on the bus. So if a man really want the money, he just say something to me and just whisper, you better give me a money, you just tell the people and say, you is Baldwin. So if you don't give him money, keep him quiet. So it was a lot of bribery sometimes.
What?
And I couldn't talk in public. Yeah. But then it was funny. It was funny.
Mabrak.
It was funny. They would,
was this radio show legal?
Yes, it's Jamaica Information Service Life in Hopeful Village program that people used to run to their radio to listen.
Okay.
And to hear Byron and Miss Birdie, to hear Man, which was Dennis Brown's bigger brother, to hear Dougalman, to hear Nana. Oh gosh, yeah, man.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make sure because that completely changes. That would completely change the story. So people would come up to you in public and stuff and just be like, and call you by your character name just by the sound of hearing the sound of your voice.
They heard the voice, and sometimes I couldn't talk in public. People were talking, and I can tell from the look if they hear the voice. I may say something like, "Yes, I saw when this and this happened." And you see somebody turn sharp and look at you, you just know, here we go again. And you just shut up. Nobody said it more.
Wow. So then after this, people already knew you, and that's when you finally were able to invest in your own drum and start making music, recording?
Yeah, yes, and this is what happened. You ready for this one? Here is it I'm going to perform for the National Junior Drumming Championship. I bought this drum, and I am there just tuning it, to get ready. And I left it around the back part of the house. Some kids saw when I left, and that thing, the drum is like a magnet.
Yes.
They were drawn to go touch the drum. I think one of them wanted to bang the drum. The drum fell over, and the side of it, with the skin cracked. So here's it. I just bought this drum, and the drum have a crack on it.
No.
You understand me?
Yeah.
So now, here's it. I'm having a serious problem because the thing is coming up in about 3 to 4 days time. That's not enough time to get another skin on this drum and tune it and have it ready. Oh gosh.
Wow.
Anyway, no, the only people who would have really good sounding drums would be like Ross Michael. But he's so far out in Western Kingston. I'm in Eastern Kingston or Northern Kingston sometimes. That's too far and too close. And then he may not even lend me his drum or lend me a drum because they're keen about their competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are people who might be competing against me now. And a good friend of mine, Jan Arms, Nami, Norman Samuel said, let's go check counters, man. I said, you sure? Count? He said, yes, man. Yeah, man. I think I feel a big feeling counting linear drum, man. I probably know a drum. I said, I don't think it's know a drum, but you probably can lend me a drum. All right, so we went up to counters. Counters, heard the dilemma. Said, no, man, we catch a drum, man. He my repeater. I said, you repeater? And I'm laughing and say, all right. So the problem was solved. So the eliminations were held at the little theater. I won that portion of it. And then the finals were held at the Ward Theater. You know,
no, was this your first? Too. Was this your first competition?
Yes.
So, so you went from playing butter pans and cheese pans to getting recognized just by your voice, and then you got a drum. You finally you got a drum, okay? And you don't have to hide playing drums anymore in Jamaica. Now you can play them without getting in trouble, and you're on your way to your first competition, and it got cracked. It got cracked.
It's an ongoing saga, you know.
Yeah, and then it got somehow, luckily, and I know just from my musician friends who travel and like, you know, with it's like a big deal. Like that instrument is like deity. Like you are making sure that it's like your partner, you know, and you somehow was able to get fixed right before this competition.
Yep.
Wow.
No, that's you see why when I say, you know, endless praises to the Almighty God, I mean every word of that because it's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I became the national drum champion, national junior drum champion.
Huh.
You know, and that was 1970. Yeah. You know?
Wow.
And it you know, I didn't really start any recordings then because I was about to leave for Howard University. So it was nice one leaving with a title. And then you having heard me over the years on the radio and in life in Oakville Village that I could play, you know.
Yeah.
And being among the Scatterlights, you know, and listening to Kontazi and sometimes just go by the hillside and watch them rehearse. So they knew that, you know, I had a pretty good you know, grasp on the instrument really.
Did you so you just you have always been a performer your whole life. I mean, it sounds like there's just not a time when it sounds like you just have always been a performer. I mean, even if it was for your grandmother in the kitchen.
I mean, just about all of my life, I was playing sometime, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I played for 3 months or 6 months or whatever, you know, because sometimes I didn't like how some of those producers really handle the business part. So I didn't really participate in a lot of, you know, studio work and all of that. You know, and so I left for Howard, and Howard knew that I was a national junior drum champion, and they sent me an invitation, you know, from the Fine Arts to come and listen to Contact Africa, which was their premier group. And they needed a lead drummer, you know.
Yeah.
Now, this is what was fascinating. This was the first time I was gonna hear something called Agbaja. No.
Agbaja?
What? Yeah, from Ghana. It's a classical piece. And I'm listening, and Kojo Faso said to me that I would like you to be the lead drummer for this.
What?
I said, well then, okay, I'll list it some more and we can come, we can come up with something. He said, yeah, you heard this? I said, I know the song. This song is Take Five by Dave Brubeck. He said, no. This is not Dave Brubeck's song. This is Agbacha from Ghana. Dave Brubeck copied this song from Ghana. And I go, hold on, what? I mean, I'm hearing like 5 melodic lines going down and they are synchronized. And this is real classic stuff. I went to bed the same night. I just couldn't go. It was a Saturday night. I just couldn't go nowhere. I had to just go cool out.
That's so.
I was shocked. I was really shocked.
That classical music from Ghana had traveled to Jamaica. It turned into something else by a different artist. So you already knew it was in you. It was in other Jamaicans. And then these people came from Ghana and were like, you know what? You're going to play lead on this. And then you're like, no, this song is something else. And they're like, actually, it comes from Ghana. This is it.
That's right. Thank you for making that summation. So, I just go straight to my bed because I go, whoa, this, I need to sleep this one off. This is classical drums, okay? And my job as lead drummer is that any drummer which is off, just walk up to him, smiling, of course. No, the audience not supposed to know this, and just correct him. And my ability to listen to 5 or 7 drums and to be able to detect anyone which is off, and at the same time play lead by nicing it up from time to time, like what we did at the JFK, the John F. Kennedy Center.
Yes.
We had won an award in Annapolis, Maryland, as a top drum and dance group, and so they invited us to come down to the JFK. That place is something else. This was the first theater I saw where the roof came down in an angular position to the back part. So when you play the talking drum inside the place, this place was just awesome. Oh gosh. And I played, I took a solo that night and the people went crazy. Oh God. I mean, the place was driving me crazy. So it just passed on to them. The song was, oh gosh.
Wow. So I just want to ask.
Sorry.
I just want to ask for any listeners who are into reggae, are picking up on some of the stuff that Mabrak is talking about lead drummer having those responsibilities, music lovers, whoever's watching, feel free to comment, give us likes and hearts, boost this video and this message. Please do interact and let us know where you're coming from. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being at this Sixtea with Leroy Mabrak Mattis. These stories are just so juicy and so, there's just so much wisdom in these stories. I'm mesmerized. Anyway, continue, Mabrak. I just wanted to make sure I acknowledged people who are listening.
Yes, and the thing about it was such a fantastic, performance, really, because the growing popularity of Howard drum and dance was really, going big time in Washington, D.C. and Maryland at the time, So it was well attended, and just that talking drum solo was something else. Was something else.
Is it recorded online anywhere?
If there is a what?
Is there a recording of it online?
I don't know if they have. I don't know if they did one.
Okay.
And because with the technology, they probably can I saved it, and they're probably putting just like how they're putting things I've done, like Jamaica Golden Hits Volume 1, where I'm singing and playing "Oh Carolina" with the Mabrak members.
So tell us.
So I appear on the Don Drummond song "Green Island."
So, Mabrak, we have a question from a good friend, Beto Torrens, who you know through. So Beto, your friend, Mr. Majestic, introduced me to Mabrak. So Beto, you know Mabrak through a couple degrees. Beto has a question for you, Mabrak, and that is, what is your specialty? Kumina, Buru, Mayal, Nyabengi?
Yeah. It's between Kumina and the Nyabingi. As a matter of fact, I like all of them, Trust me, I like all of them once it's sounding good. I like them because I'm just fascinated when drummers can communicate. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you feel them vibe, it's just nice. I don't really have a preference still. I really don't.
Yeah, and Beto Torrens is a drummer in Puerto Rico. My brother over there, also a very good friend to Africa Week 2020.
Yeah. No, man, tell them once them set it up nice. No, I don't have a preference like I don't like this or I don't like that. No. Once you have your drums nicely tuned and you have a good song,
yeah,
check me. Man.
Beto says Irie. And then I also want to say, Beto, if you're still here, you see that, you know what this is. This is a talking drum. Mabrak is known for mixing that sound within reggae music. Are you still the only one who's really done this, Mabrak? Is there anybody else doing this?
You ready for this one? You sitting down?
I am.
No, because see, the talking drum being when you reach a talking drum level, there's no higher level to go. You know what I mean?
Huh.
And so that's it.
Wow.
That is it. Because I guess the Guinness Book of Records have me as the first man to really use the talking drum as a lead instrument. This is not keyboards, guitar, or sax, or trumpet. This is the talking drum, which was used in traditional Africa to send messages from hilltop to hilltop.
Wow.
So, sometimes promoters will get very, very nervous. Say, wait, so Leroy, when you're gonna play on this concert, are you gonna take them to the Jimi Hendrix and Miles Davis level?
Because promoters got to promote. Promoters got to promote. I said promoters got to promote. That's their job.
So that is it, and that's really what I had in mind this year, really, and I really want people to hear the level of sounds, one, and where, the West Africans and Africans really reached in terms of their music. Because what really I was really fascinated about was the mentality behind the music. How do you get 5 men seated with drums, 5 of them playing 5 different melodic lines? There is no kind of problem, and it sounds nice. And you only have 2 ears. Oh my gosh, the synchronicity is just out of this world.
Yeah.
So it shows me their brilliance and it shows me their mentality. Just how do you do that? This is not classic music on the piano. Yeah, you have 2 hands. We're talking about 5. They go up to 7, but you're talking about 5 Man.
Beto saying polyrhythmic.
There you go.
See, you two are gonna meet each other. I feel like you two could probably talk for days and days and days without it.
Some people really started thinking about it when I said most of the classic music you're listening to is duophonic music. If you want to hear polyphonic music, you got to check them West Africans. You got to check Ghana, especially Ghana.
Did you find when you were in the beginnings of your recording career, was it unique that you? Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. Start again.
When you were starting in the beginning of your recording career, did you find that people were honoring sort of these African traditions in Jamaica the way that you wanted to and you have in your career?
What they really wanted was they just say, "Boy, that is your heritage. This is just wild," So you know what? They like it in dubwise music. Wow, 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 and it's natural.
Dubwise?
Yeah, in dubwise, or let me tell you, that term is when you're making when you flip over, you make a song, the rhythm, and you flip it, and the person sing on it. You flip it over, and then you make a version of that. But you put on all kind of delaying effects and stuff on it, and make it sound really nice.
Okay. And so they
like to hear the talking drum in the dubwise, in the flip over side.
Okay. And again, you were the talking drum player in Jamaica. There wasn't anybody else doing this?
No, nobody else wanted to touch it.
Wow. So tell me,
it's not an easy drum, It's not really an easy drum, because
I know I'm not a drummer, and just touching it, I feel just touching the one in my house. I'm just like, when I was in West Africa last year, they were like, "This is your drum. You will play this," and I was like, "I'm not a drummer. I'm not a musician, really. Like, what are you giving me?" And they're like, "You will." And I was. This is. I mean, I'm not saying that any other drumming is easy, but there's even me not having a percussion practice or skill or lessons or knowledge, even just spending some time with this drum, understanding like the vast capabilities of the types of sounds that can come out of this drum, just as awesome. from my perspective, it's staggering.
It is. And from time to time, I will tell the promoter, "Look, are you ready? Who's coming after me?" And he tell me, because, if you allow me to go there, with the talking drum or with my rhythm section, who's going to be coming after that? It's too much pressure. It's serious, because you had artistic people who ran down one of the promoters one time and said, "You crazy. You didn't tell me I'm enough about Mabrak." The man said, "But I tried to warn you, tell you, your boy cannot come on after them. Let us put him on before Mabrak." The man says, "Yes, you said it, but you didn't enforce it. You should." You didn't enforce it. He just told me he didn't enforce it. Because he's hearing songs that he has never heard before in his life.
Wow.
And you shake it, it's like, wow. Yes, all four parents were years, light years away musically. You know what I mean?
Mabrak, tell me if you were. I feel we can keep going, but I know that you have like sort of. We're at an hour right now. I wonder, but we can keep going as long as you're available for another like 20 or 30 minutes if you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Could you tell us about your time with the 3Ms? Could you tell us who the 3Ms are again and tell us about your time?
Oh, yes. What happened is that Harry J wanted to do an album with the 3Ms. No, when Bob heard about the project, he went to the engineer. So he says, what's going on? Because Leroy, you probably remember me as a youngster on the radio, but he hadn't heard anything further from me for years. So he said, all right, play them on them. So he played a cut from Ras Midas. Bob heard it. And then he put on drum talk. And Bob Marley said, hold on a little bit. Who this? So I'm telling, oh, I'm not playing talking drum now. Bob wanted to see me like immediately. So he got in touch with Alan Cole. Tell Alan Cole, go find him down. Where we can find him? Well, I think Sylvan Morris told him, down by Bournemouth, you know. He's probably on the soccer field. You can just go down there anytime after, 4:30 in the afternoon. You can find him, man. So Bob wanted now, before Harry J do this album, Bob wanted me to do a version of Talking Blues. See how Bob mine was running? Talking Blues with the talking drum. No, you know that artistically, just the thought of that song would have sold millions.
Yeah.
So I got the message and I went up by 56 Hook Road to see Bob. Bob Marley is the most serious reggae man I have really run into. And I'm not saying this because it's Bob. The truth is the truth. The man here that Violin now, one of his keyboard players told me that Bob was upstairs when I asked for him, He said, Bob upstairs, man. So, all right. Knock on the door and let me and say, and then you get Bob. Bob came out of the showers with a towel wrapped around him. And I said, but hold on a little bit. This man I really love this thing. Yes. Want to Talking Blues. Set it up with family man now. Huh. That's all right. Glad to see you here, sir. So, yes. I went downstairs. The man come up, the man just dry off and I mean, I said, but this man is serious about this music. So anyway, I went downstairs, went inside the kitchen again. It's funny how we usually convert kitchens into like studios. And I guess because the food is there. Anyway, I saw a family man and say, hey, Pops, I must set it up man, the talking blues. Want me to use the talking drum. Well, family man response to me was, with a talking drum, then tell me something, this drummer, it really can talk? Believe me, the meeting was over because I was on the floor. I realized I better come back and talk and deal with family man another time, but not this time. Yeah.
Wow. So it sounds like even whoever you're talking to, whether it be the Prime Minister, Alan Cole, Bob Marley, all these recording artists that the people that we recognize their names, just it seems like every time you showed up, everybody had no idea what the talking drum was.
No, because it's not a popular instrument in Jamaica. It's not used in Jamaica. Yeah, it's like what's his name, Beto. So you have burro drum, which kind of shaped the same way like Rasta drum.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Kumina drums, all of those drums they know.
Yeah.
But the talking drum, no, I mean, both sides, both ends are covered, and it's manipulated by the strings for you to get the tones. So it's like I say, it's not an easy instrument. You have to first learn the funde, get your funde steady, and that can take you easily 5 to 10 years just to get a steady funde.
Funde, is that the squeezing of the strings?
No, that is the heartbeats, Rasta sound.
Oh.
Chup, 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 chup. Some people just hear that little 2-beat thing. Yes, it's not simple because you will run into a wild repeater man who gonna play like oh, you'll be off in a minute. You know, you'll be off in a minute. Yeah. So you have to get the funde together first, then get your expression with the repeater drum steady, then you can move to talking drum.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I can't play it.
Yes,
I'm just kidding.
It's your concentration, you know what I mean? Concentration. Yeah. It's a concentration.
Wow. So, Mabrak, there's a few more questions that I want to ask you. One is there anything that you're working on right now that you're really excited about? And it could be music or it could be about something else, but is there anything that you're working on right now that you're excited about?
Are you still seated?
Yes.
All right. Finally, I think I want to release the world's first electric repeater drum. It was completed about 10 years ago, but I had to hold it back because I realized that the world wasn't really ready for that yet. One.
Electric what?
And two, I have to find the right distributor because I don't like what I see going on with these current distributors, you know. And I don't have time for the foolishness. This is electrifying the repeater drum.
Electrifying repeater drum?
Yes, electrifying the drum. This is the world's first electric drum, electric repeater drum. So, for example, on the regular repeater, you can touch the edge and get bang. And this one, I've made it in such a way that you can control it and play bang, wong, 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 with the effect.
Yes.
Because the drum is electrified.
Yes. I cannot wait to introduce you to my friend Beto Torrens and also send you some music from Ife because I think all of you need to know each other. I think you all need to know each other because it sounds like what you're doing with drums is incredibly new and progressive and something that the world is ready for now.
Yes, I think so. It's what's going on with the virus really has slowed down so many things this year, you know?
Yes.
It's slowed down a lot of things, you know what I mean?
Yes, I hope you do. I hope you do get that music out into the world as soon as possible. I want to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, yes, because the electric repeater is going to be something else. It's going to be similar to the talking drum, but it's just a different sound. As a matter of fact, the engineer, when I was recording it, because first off, people think it's a joke, an electric drum.
Yeah.
Well, it's now, when people used to say, oh, me, I'm the drum electrician, it was a joke. It's no longer a joke. Okay?
Yeah.
There's such a thing that someone can service an electric drum. Okay? And it's what they call a hand drum too. You know, because I can use the same setting on the repeater on the bongos and on the congos too. I can use the same circuitry.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, Mabrak, we still have so much to talk about. Okay, I have two more questions for you because will you please let me know when this comes out and when you're ready, because there's so many people I want to connect you to, and I also want you to come back when this music comes out and we'll talk about it more. Mabrak, what is your blessing for this world?
Peace and love, and just to really take care of business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just love people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And take care of people. That's all that's necessary.
Yeah.
You know.
Peace
Just take care of people.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Thank you. And I have one more question for you before we go.
Mm-hmm.
That is, if Mabrak from 15 years ago walked in, sat down with you, maybe sipping some tea, what would you say to Mabrak of 15 years ago?
Well, he would say, you really still stick with it in spite and despite all the trials and tribulations. And like you said, I said that in 1970, I'm going to give drums and drum music the respectability that they deserve.
Yeah.
Because I felt very bad. I go, but people are always putting down drum, even in the mixing, even when engineers are balancing sound. They put the drums way in the back, telling me, oh, it's in the mix. No one in the mix. We put it up front. This is the people who wait. People on stage playing, some drummers playing their hearts out and their congos are on their bongos. And, you know, the engineers put the drums way back. No, this I have time for that, man. There's no respect for drum music, you know? Because some long time, they always wanted to keep the drums in the background. The drums should be right up there with guitars, so it can be heard. Drummers shouldn't be going on stage and they're drumming their heart out and you barely hear them. It's joke business, right? I don't have time for that.
I understand that fully. I understand that fully. And you know, I find that I'm really moved when I go to shows that sort of feature everybody in a balanced way, you know? And the drums include, I mean, I have a love affair with percussion myself, so I want to hear more of the percussion than anything else. But I find that the things that I receive most powerfully is when I can have a balanced view and sound of everything that's going on. So I appreciate you bringing that back into perspective. Thank you.
It's been a long time coming to let them know that no. You put up them drums, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mabrak, is there anything else you want to share with us before we go?
Well, you know, hopefully people will get a chance to hear the full Mabrak full force, the thunderclap song, because there is still reggae music to be heard that gonna really fascinate people. They still haven't heard the hardest reggae songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They still haven't heard it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you come out, they will hear it. You know what I mean? Reggae music from east, west, north, and south.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thunderclap sound. So I'm waiting, you know, for this virus thing to kind of give you a break so we can play some music for the people and to hear some heavy duty pound weight sound, all right?
Yes, play the music for the people. I'm in.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
All
and
right.
it was nice that I could really talk to John Public worldwide so that they know what Mabrak is about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're about to bring music, no stylized business, just the hardcore real stuff, the real thing, you know what I mean?
The original, the foundation.
Yes, man.
I bless it. Bless it. It will happen. We're building the new world. We can do anything we want.
That's it.
Yeah. Mabrak Mattis, thank you so much for joining us on Sixtea. Thank you for giving us your time and sharing your wisdom. I know a lot of people are watching this and getting medicine from what you're saying. I'm moved. I'm moved as somebody who loves percussion and has loved talking to you over the last few weeks. Please do come back one day.
Yeah. We plan to do something in Puerto Rico as soon as they can set it up,
Yes, I will facilitate that as best I can.
As soon as the virus subsides, I'll give you a break, you know what I mean?
Beto, if you're still here, if you heard that, I have someone to connect you with. All right, dear. We're going to go. Thank you so much. Thank you, all the listeners who came. Thank you for commenting and sharing. Sixtea is a new program, but we're going to keep going. Keep checking with us on our Facebook page and liking our Facebook page. Mwah! We love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
La la la, e a lelé são duas garotas do desacato. A la la, e a lelé provoca até cenas de fuzilado. A la la, e a lelé são duas garotas do desacato. A la la, e a lelé provoca até cenas de fuzilado.